All right, everybody, here we are with a very, very special interview. We are very honored to have a former WCW Nitro Girl, a former WWE Diva, a former TNA Knockout, and the current general manager of Booker T's ROW, the lovely and talented queen of professional wrestling, Miss Sharmell Huffman. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show, Sharmell.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very honored to have you on here. I don't want to sound too starstruck or just seem like I'm just babbling on, so let's just go ahead and get right on into it. I want to ask you. I want to ask you about some things regarding your current gig. Right now, you're the current general manager of Booker T's ROW. It's based here out of the Houston area, and so far it seems like it's been going pretty good. And I think you've been at it for about 3 months or so now.
Yeah, about 3 months, and it's been awesome. I love being the boss, so that's always fun. But yeah, it's been great.
It has been great. I've been a long time attendee of both ROW, and beforehand it was called PWA, and that's been around for about 6 or 7 years. And one thing that I have noticed here since it's changed over to ROW and since you've taken over is the incorporation of hardcore elements into some matches. We had a tables match, recently, as well as a ladders match and a chairs match, and that was something that we hadn't seen before. Can you tell me what was the decision to go into that direction, and could we expect to see more of those type of matches here in the future?
You can absolutely expect to see more of those type of matches. What we basically did was we went back to the drawing board. We looked at PWA and saw all the positive things, all the good things that were going on, and we listened to the longtime fans such as yourself. We took suggestions, and, we needed to see what our fans wanted to see. So we decided, hey, let's give ROW, the new and improved PWA, let's give ROW an edgier feel, an edgier look. So we've been doing, like you said, some different kinds of matches, and there will definitely be more of that in the future. We just want to keep you guys entertained.
Well, we definitely have been entertained. It's been a great ride the last few months, just seeing ROW grow and evolve. And one thing that was really cool about PWA in the past, which kind of went away for a little bit, was the incorporation of special guests. Name wrestlers that would show up, that were from WWE or TNA. And we hadn't seen that recently until this last pay-per-view, or iPay-per-view that you guys had, where we saw MVP. We hadn't seen him in a long time. This was his first time back in the States for, quite a while. He's been wrestling in Japan for a long time. It was really awesome seeing him. Would we be able to expect that from here on, we might be able to see more named wrestlers, people that we would recognize from the national scene? Or is this like a one-time thing, or how is that going?
Well, as the newly appointed general manager, that's one of the things that when I went back to the drawing board, I said, okay, listen, this is something we need to bring back. So we're working on that right now. We realize that not only are the fans excited to see big-name superstars like MVP, who, by the way, MVP, thank you for blessing us with your presence at the last show. It was awesome. The fans loved it. We really appreciate you. And, we realize that's what the fans want to see, but it also helps our students. It helps our young guys. When they are able to wrestle a superstar, someone who has that knowledge of this business, and it only helps them. So hopefully it'll help them get to the WWE very, very soon. So we're going to definitely look into bringing some more superstars back for the crowd to enjoy and for our guys to learn from.
Yeah, that would be really awesome if, you just mentioned some of your guys going to, the WWE. That'd be really awesome if there were some wrestlers that would have be able to say that they worked for you as their general manager in ROW, and then worked for your husband as their general manager on SmackDown. That'd be great.
Hey, that's why we're in it. We want to see the next generation of wrestlers. I'm just happy that my husband has that passion to want to train them and to pass his knowledge on so that wrestling can just continue to grow and grow and grow. I mean, it's really an amazing feeling.
Indeed. And it's a feeling that I think hasn't been in the Houston area as fervently as it had in the past. Maybe like in the 70s, 80s, before my time, I just remember hearing, I remember hearing stories from my parents and, them saying that, it was really big thing back then, with like Paul Bosch, and I know Booker wears Paul Bosch's ring, and I'm really glad that Booker's trying to bring that back here to Houston.
Absolutely. Well, Houston was a hotbed for wrestling, and Paul Bosch definitely responsible for that. Like you said, Booker does wear Paul Bosch's ring, and it's an honor for Booker. He tells everybody that for him to wear that ring, and he just wants to make sure that he doesn't do it a disservice. So that's why he works so hard training guys at our wrestling facility and just trying to bring wrestling back to Houston.
Yes, and us Houstonians greatly appreciate that. Now getting back to ROW. I mentioned that MVP was here at the last ROW event, which was an iPay-per-view, and a few of us, we were a little bit confused as to the structure of what all the iPay-per-view meant and where ROW was going. On the Facebook fan page for ROW, one of the guys that runs it, Aaron, he got on there and he explained some things. But would you be able to go ahead and enlighten us, like, what the actual structure is? When is it going to be a pay-per-view? What's going on to YouTube? What's going on to this feed.com? Can you enlighten us a little?
Well, sure. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Aaron, because he worked so hard to keep ROW up and going, to keep all the fans informed. Everything from designing our t-shirts to just being the ultimate fan, the ultimate supporter. So we really appreciate him. But, right now we have a couple of different venues where people from all around the world can check out ROW. That was another one of our main goals. We want people overseas, here in the United States, people who are elsewhere, other than Houston, to be able to see ROW. So how it works is we have a feed channel, feed.com, and that's PHEED.com/Booker T. And when you log onto there, there's a $2.99 monthly subscription. So for $2.99, you have unlimited access for the whole month to programming that's on our feed channel. And what it is we still have our YouTube channel. We'll have 3 weeks worth of show, a different show every week for 3 weeks on the YouTube channel. And then once every 3 months, we're going to have, just like we said, a pay-per-view, which is going to be exclusively on the feed channel. Okay, so that footage you will not be able to see on the YouTube channel. But let me explain again about feed. There's also some other content on there that we're really, really excited about. We have a lot of programs in development that we're filming right now that will be exclusively on feed. Some of the programs have to do with wrestling. Some of them have absolutely nothing to do with wrestling, but they're still very, very entertaining. A feed is really something special for subscribers who want unlimited access to ROW, Booker T, to our young and up-and-coming superstars. You'll be able to see that there. But as always, you will still be able to see our regular shows on the YouTube channel. Now, I hope I didn't just confuse anybody.
Well, I think
that's how it's working.
Okay, I think the way that I understand it is that there's going to be the monthly show at the Clear Lake Recreation Center every month, like how there has been. Except that now, every 3 months, that show is going to be a pay-per-view show. And the shows...
Exactly. You explained it far better than I did. Yes.
Thank you.
That is correct.
and the pay-per-view shows will be on feed.com, but the shows that are in between are going to be uploaded to YouTube on a weekly basis, even though they're recorded monthly. Gotcha.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Well, and no problem, I needed the clarification too. So there we go. So this Sunday, or excuse me, not Sunday, Saturday, we will have a show at the Clear Lake Rec Center and in Clear Lake, Texas on Diana Lane. And that show is going to be the first one after this last iPay-per-view that will be starting again the new 3-month build-up to the next pay-per-view.
Right. So you don't want to miss that, Abel. I hope you're going to be in the audience.
Oh, I definitely will be in the audience. I'm going to be front row.
Okay.
From what I can tell, the one match that I know that's going on is going to be Kid Ransom versus Jared Steele, and that's going to be for the internet title.
Right. Yeah.
is there any other matches or any other stipulations that are going to be added or that's on the card or anything?
Well, I want to kind of keep that a surprise.
All
So
right.
I want everybody to come out and see. Like you said, we're building up for this next pay-per-view. So we have a bunch of stuff in the works, but I'm going to give you probably a few little teasers. You know, we've had Kelly Kevin and American Eagle sort of teaming up as of late. We have some big things in the works for them. And I have some surprising things in store for Abel Andrew Jackson. You know, he's been on a losing streak and was begging me to get a title match and the whole nine. So this last show, he finally, you know, that losing streak was finally broken. He got a win over Hammer. So
That was a great match.
I think I might be a little lenient with him and try to get him, you know, another match to see what he can do. He has to prove himself all over against me. Another thing that I want the ROW fans to stay tuned for, we're really working on bringing back the female division. So I want everybody to stay tuned for that. I think the guys really enjoy that, and we have some really awesome girls who are really learning the trade of wrestling, and I think it's going to be great.
That's some good news. That's really exciting because I remember back when we were still at the Pasadena Convention Center. It was still a PWA, that we had a pretty good female division going on there with PWA, and we had a couple of really good wrestlers. And I remember Jessica James. I think she went on and I think she worked with like Shimmer. I think for a little while. I'm not sure where she's at now.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good. I lost touch with her, but yeah, she was really coming along. And that's one of the things I'm glad that you mentioned it. That's one of the things that people can see on the feed channel. We'll be pulling some matches from the vault, and those are going to be the matches, like you said, where we had the women's division, where we had a bunch of superstars gracing us with their presence, wrestling on the show. We had some really amazing matches, and we want people to be able to see those. So those will be uploaded to feed, and again, you'll have unlimited access to that footage.
Awesome. So on top of feed having the pay-per-views and a new original content, it will also have old content from old ROW and old PWA shows.
Right, yeah.
All right, that sounds like a pretty good deal for $2.99 a month.
Yeah, it's an awesome deal.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know that this is what we got currently going on, and it's a big thing going on down here in Houston. But for the most part, people know you for being a public figure, for your career that you've done. You've had such a lengthy career. You've been in the public eye for such a long time. You're not just an ROW person. And there was a few things that I wanted to, just bring up and talk to you about. One thing that just recently came up, just a few weeks ago, actually, was online. It surfaced that Michelle McCool had an interview on her own personal website. I believe it was MichelleMcCool.net, where they were talking to her and asking her about the relationship that she had with you and Booker. And I didn't know. I had no idea that you guys were so close. She really put you guys over, and she just had lots of really wonderful things to say about you. And have you read or heard that interview yourself, Sharmell?
Well, this is what's so funny. Michelle is such an amazing person. I talk or text with her almost every day, and I had no idea she did this interview. The way I found out about it was one of our students posted the interview on my Facebook page. And so I went and I read it. I'm like, this girl is so amazing. I love her to death. Little known fact, Michelle is the godmother to our twin.
Oh.
So we are really, really very, very close. The first day I met her, we just clicked. I just knew that this was somebody who I would be a lifelong friend with. She's an amazing person. She's an incredible athlete. She's beautiful inside and out. She's the best friend anybody could ever ask for. I took the twins to go visit her, and her mom happened to be in town. And her mom was sitting there with my babies, reading a book to them, teaching them their colors and shapes. And I just remember looking at her mom saying, she is such an amazing mother, and I know Michelle is going to be such an amazing mother. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And lo and behold, now Michelle is a mom. She's a wonderful mom. And again, just the best friend anybody can ask for. She really is an amazing person, just a sweetheart. You know, it's almost not fair. She's gorgeous, she's sweet, she's athletic, she's talented. You know, it's just crazy. She's like the perfect package. And she's just a wonderful friend. She'll be in my life forever and Booker's life forever. We're just happy that we know her. You know, she's really just, I can't say enough good things about her. She's awesome.
That's awesome. I had no idea that you guys were so close. And, you know, one thing that she had said in her interview was that, you know, when she first went in to WWE, she met you guys and that's how, you know, she got to know you. I thought that was really cool, but that also got me thinking and, also got Travis thinking. Travis isn't here right now for this interview, but he did have a question that he wanted me to pose to you, which was when you first broke into the business, when you first broke into, you know, being a Nitro girl, how did you come about to that position, first off, and how did the whole Paisley character come around? That was something that he found interesting.
Well, you know, dance was always my first love, and when I first found out about the Nitro Girls, I was actually touring as a background dancer with James Brown. So we were on the tour bus, and WCW just happened to be on, and I saw this dance troupe. These girls, you know, I'm like, what? They are amazing. Who are these girls? So I did a little bit of research and found out that they were the Nitro Girls, and ironically, one of the Nitro Girls, Teo, used to dance for James Brown. She used to be a background dancer for James Brown as well. So Teo ended up leaving the Nitro Girls, and they had a sort of a citywide search there in Atlanta to replace her. And I auditioned, I got the job, and, you know, that was the start of something wonderful. Not only did it introduce me to, well, the world, because, you know, we were international as well, but it introduced me to the world, and it allowed me to meet some of the very best friends I've ever had. The Nitro Girls were bridesmaids in my wedding. I mean, you know, I really do love those girls. And then when WCW changed management, they decided there wasn't a place for dance in wrestling. And so they kind of slowly phased the program out. And I just so happened to get a phone call on a Friday afternoon saying, hey, Sharmell, when you come to work on Monday, I need you to have a purple dress because you're going to play this character called Paisley Park, and you're going to be a valet for Prince Iachea. And I'm like, what? You know, I had no idea what was going on, but in just a matter of days, I transformed literally 2 days from Storm into Paisley. And, you know, I did that gimmick with Prince Iachea and then eventually with Queewee and, you know, just on until that gimmick ran out. But it was an amazing time. I loved it.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. You know, they just said, hey, you know, there's no more room for dancing, and I find that to be kind of ridiculous because, you know, even now, I mean, we see, well, even with, you know, with Brodus Clay, the Funkasaurus, I mean, he's got Cameron and Naomi, and they're out there pretty much, you know, doing exactly that, exactly what you guys in the Nitro Girl Squad are doing. They're out there, you know, dancing, and I find that funny to say that there's, you know, no room for that in wrestling because it's been around for such a long time, and I don't know, I mean, what do you think about Cameron and Naomi?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I look at them and I'm like, hey, that's what I'm talking about. These girls are out there jamming, they're dancing, but it's wrestling. You know, and it's amazing. I think the guys enjoy it. It's entertaining. So I definitely feel that it has a purpose. You know, I don't know if I'm being biased because, as I said, dance is my first love, but I think they're doing a great job. You know, like I said, I love the costumes. I love the dancing. You enjoy it, right, Abel?
Well, yeah, that's some great stuff.
Yeah, so the guys enjoy it, so I think it's a win-win situation.
That's cool. Well, what do you think? I mean, we just touched on this a little bit with you saying that you're going to do this with ROW, and kind of tying into the dancing thing. How do you feel about the current state of women's wrestling in the industry today? I mean, not just the Divas division, not just the Knockouts division, but as a whole, what do you think of it?
I think we're coming back around to where we have those, you know, it's like the perfect marriage of the two right now. We have those women who can actually go in the ring. They're great wrestlers, and they're beautiful too, you know, so I think it's coming back around, and hopefully they'll focus more on the women's division because these girls put their heart into it. You know, they put their bodies on the line every night, and they do a great job. They're entertaining, and they're really out there. They're very athletic. They're really out there doing a great service to wrestling. So I'm really happy about that. And like I said, I just hope they push the girls even more.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I'm always ranting about here on my podcast. One thing that I really like to see more of is serious women's wrestling, and not just a 2-minute match that ends on a roll up. I like to see like actual time given to and storyline given to the girls to go out there and put on a decent show. And I think people like you and Booker bringing up these girls to get trained and putting them out there and putting them in the industry. I think that's only good for the industry, and I really hope that a couple of years down the line we really get to where the Divas division, the Knockouts, and all this and that are more prominently spotlighted. That being said,
absolutely, especially in this day and age when right now we're really all about girl power. So to show these women who are not only beautiful, but who are athletic and can get in the ring and mix it up. I mean, I think that's great. So like you said, I really hope in the future we'll see the women's division heat up even more.
Definitely. I definitely think that that's something to achieve, something to strive for. Right. Speaking of seeing people and seeing women on TV, I understand that you are a full-time mom now, but what are the chances that we'll ever get to see a Sharmell cameo on TV anytime? And well, before you answer that, let me pitch to you a scenario that I had in my head, because as we know, Raw's going to be in town this upcoming Monday, so what better time? What I picture is this: Booker's backstage, and for some reason, Epico and Primo come up to him, and Rosa Mendes is with him, and they ask Booker for something or whatever. That's not the important part. And then Booker kind of, looks at Rosa Mendes there and goes, shucky ducky, or something like that, like how, he sometimes does. And then the camera just pans over a little bit, sees you standing there with your arms folded, and you look at Book and you go, tell me you didn't just say that.
You have it all planned out, huh, Abel?
Yes, I do. I want to see that happen.
Well, listen, I think it would be great. Yeah, I would definitely love to do a cameo. I loved the whole King Booker, Queen Sharmell gimmick. I loved working side by side with my husband. And I loved the other people that I worked with, too. It was really a family situation there. So I would love to go back, make a cameo, and just, I am a full-time mom, but I still love entertainment, and I definitely love sports entertainment. So we'll see, never say never.
All right, never say never. We'll leave it at that. Awesome. Just keep us all guessing. Great. But I mean, hey, that's part of what makes wrestling great, the surprise, the element of surprise.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, I don't really have any other questions or anything that I already had planned out. Is there anything that you would like to go ahead and add before, we wrap this up and bring it to a close?
Well, I really want to just thank all of our fans who have been there with us from day one. I want to thank our fans that were there for PWA, our fans that are there for ROW, and I really want to thank my husband for just having this love and this passion for the business to give up his time when he's not on the road to go down to our wrestling school and give back to those kids who are up and coming who just love the sport of wrestling and try to teach them the game. And then I want to thank our fans from WCW and WWE. It's been an amazing ride. To have everybody just let me into their homes, over the TV for all those many years is just something that it's hard to put into words. It's just an incredible experience, and the fans make it all worth it. So once again, just thank you for all that love and support.
Thank you for, coming on our show and just letting me go ahead and have an interview here with you. And I will definitely see you this weekend over at the ROW show. And
all right.
Yeah, I hope a lot more people, keep coming to make ROW bigger, and then vice versa, start making Houston Wrestling Radio bigger, and just making wrestling here in Houston in general just, bigger and a bigger deal.
Well, listen, Abel, thanks to you, and people like you for helping us spread the word, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, yes it is. You're welcome. And thank you too for coming on. Right before you go though, can I get an all hail King Booker?
Oh my gosh, are you serious? All right. All hail King Booker!
Awesome. Thank you, Sharmell. Thank you.
All right, Ed, we'll see you Saturday.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was